welcome to the channel. My name is Julie. Today we're doing another zoo review. This is a very local zoo to me. It's fairly new. We are joined by Rose, my Rosie boa. She actually came from this zoo, and you're probably wondering what type of zoo hands out animals, and let me tell you, I am talking about Snake Discovery. They have a zoo and a store not far from me at all. I was super excited when I saw the sign go up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be so close to me. Anyway, if you don't know what Snake Discovery is, it is a YouTube channel. It's very famous, it has a ton of viewers. It's one of the most influential reptile channels to new pet tubers like me. So they have the store in the front of their zoo, and then they have the zoo in the back. The front of the facility has their adoption island, so it's all animals that have been surrendered. We have gotten a few animals from them, mostly ones that have either health problems or a couple of their bigger things that I know we could take care of because we have our huge reptile room. So they know us pretty well. They call us one of their regulars. That's pretty cool. So yeah, this was a surrender. She's only a few years old. I've always wanted a Rosie boa, just never, for some reason, saw them, even though they're fairly common. So I waited for weeks going in to see when she would eat, and then they would sell them. Make sure they eat well before they adopt them out to their forever home. So we went in every week waiting for this girl to eat her mouse. Finally she did, and we brought her home. So besides Adoption Island, they also have other reptiles for sale from breeders, their own things that they've bred, animals like that. So really unique things. They actually have a lot of really cool animals that I don't see at my other local reptile store or shows. They also have products like lamps, various foods, dry or frozen/live foods, bugs, mice, rats. You can actually adopt their rats. They make pet quality rats as their food. Of course, if you're a big fan of Snake Discovery, they have a section of just souvenirs with their logo on all of it. I do have a t-shirt from them, but I could not find it for this video, so I went with snake print instead, so I feel like that's relevant. But yeah, if you're a super fan, like, this is the place to get their merch. So the back of their facility is obviously their zoo. How it's set up is it has a bunch of animals from around the world in these wonderful enclosures. They are so nicely made. They're very naturalistic, they're huge. Really good enclosures. They have a section of Midwest local animals that you can look at and see what's kind of in the area. And then they have an invertebrate kind of cave. And then in the way back, they have their party room / their breeding facility. So it's kind of a little bit of everything at this facility. So while it's not huge, so if you're expecting like a huge reptile zoo like Reptile Gardens in South Dakota, it is smaller, but it's really worth it. And just based on how well they're taken care of, the types of animals that are there, and how beautiful the enclosures and the actual zoo is. The zoo has a very natural rocky look to it. I actually kind of want to do that in my reptile room. I'll put that around my enclosures. But they have fake plants and rocks all over the place surrounding the enclosures. They have a stool that looks like a rock that you can kind of drag around the place to look into the higher enclosures. They also have a sound machine that puts in all these wonderful jungle noises into their zoo. Alright, so from my museum studies point of view, there are places to sit, so that's good. There's only 2 places to sit. One's in the zoo itself and the other is by the bathrooms. But really there's not that many places where you would stick more benches, and it's so small that a couple benches is probably good enough for this facility. It has some bathrooms and a water fountain. There's no snackage. I'm not sure what they're going to do at the outside portion of their place yet. Looks like they're updating it and making new things. I don't know if they're going to have like a snack thing for that. I have no idea, but there's no snacks, but there is water and there is bathrooms. The parking lot is not that great. It's kind of in the back. We used to go the wrong way because there's 2 ways to get in there, and there's 1 way you should go and 1 way you shouldn't go. So it's kind of small. It's in the back. I mean, it came with the facility, so what are they going to do about that? But that, I think, is my only downfall of this zoo. They offer guided tours that are free at certain times during the day. I've come in multiple times. There have been tours going. They also offer private tours and birthday parties that you book. So this place is great for kids. I'm sure there's lots of fans that are kids that know the channel, which that's great in itself. But this place is actually wonderful for kids. So they have that stool that you can move around for any of the shorties out there that need the stool, so that's wonderful. Keepers often bring out different animals for them to pet, which is cool. The tortoises kind of get free reign of the place, so there's always an animal coming up to you, walking by. You can go inside the alligator enclosure and just pop up and be in a nice acrylic enclosure, so that way the alligator doesn't get you, but you get so close to the alligator. They also have these little flashlights in the dark cave room, so you can look at the invertebrates a little bit better. On Fridays and Saturdays, you can actually meet Ed and Emily. It gets crazy busy during those hours. So if you're kind of like me and you just kind of want to silently enjoy a zoo, I would go on weekdays, typically in the mornings on weekdays. So when I say mornings, they open at noon, so if I'm talking like noon to maybe 3 on weekdays, it's going to be better to enjoy the zoo. They aren't open Monday or Tuesday. I would recommend going Wednesday and Thursday, maybe even Friday in the morning. It's going to have the least amount of people walking around, so if you want to enjoy the zoo in silence and just, you know, exist, that's when you would go. If you want to see Ed and Emily, you're going to go on Friday and Saturday in the evening and meet them. So the weekends in general tend to be really busy, whether they're meeting people or not. So if you want to, you know, have the fun kid factor of seeing a bunch of people at a zoo and stuff like that, go on the weekends. They have programs sometimes for holidays. So there was an Easter egg event. There was a Mother's Day, I think, poem writing event. So they do a lot of fun stuff for families and kids. They've done Santa events where you can take pictures with Santa, with your reptiles and your kids. I really wish they would do some adult type programming where like it's just a bunch of adults who like reptiles hanging out. Hopefully they do that in the future. Their signs are great. Their signs tell you a bunch of facts. They're really visually appealing. They have a picture of the animal, where it's from, fun facts. It's a really good designed zoo sign. So if you're a fan of the channel, you'll see a couple familiar faces, including Allie, the Argentine black and white tegu, and Rex the alligator. There's other ones that have been on the channel too that live in the zoo, and then a lot of new things that they're constantly adding. I've seen them update their enclosures a few times with different animals that they didn't have when the zoo first opened. My favorite animal in the zoo is the Crebo. That is the last pretty much snake on my dream snake list, so if you guys have a Crebo, let me know. I want to know about it. But yeah, the Crebo is my favorite. They also have a Gila monster that's pretty cool. They have a bunch of rattlesnakes. I go to the zoo about once a week, which sounds insane, but it's literally right down the road, and it's not that expensive. So if you're looking for kind of a cheap thing to do on your day off, it's a great place to go. If you're visiting from another state, it might be a small-ish trip, so you might want to go see some other cool things that are around Minneapolis. The other zoos are cool. There is the Rad Reptile Zoo. You know, there's lots of other things to do. But yeah, I go every week to just get, you know, substrate or feeders or, you know, check out what animals they got. And, you know, we just wander the zoo in peace, just as our fun once a week thing. So do I recommend the Snake Discovery Reptile Zoo? I do. 2 thumbs up. Go see it if you're a fan. Go see it if you aren't a fan. Go see it if you've never heard of Snake Discovery at all and now you're going to go look at their videos. Yeah, go to that zoo. It's great. If you want to see more zoo and museum reviews, let me know. Like and subscribe. See you then. There's only, got a piece of cat hair. A nice acrylic glass thing. So Wednesday through, I guess Wednesday and Thursday. Let's try that again. Oliver,